Folks, hello and welcome to Gamers Health, the weekly cast with myself, Eric Tenkar, and my lovelier than myself wife, Rachel.
Hello.
So, and we discussed various things, not just about gamers' health, but our own lives, events in our own lives, mental health, physical health, emotional, spiritual. We kind of we do like a sandbox of all types of health. And just to put things in perspective, we were attempting to sing the All in the Family theme song right before we logged in. So you'll have to forgive us if we are a little giddy. But why are we giddy? Well, I'm going to throw that ball into, not the face of, but into the hands of my lovelier half. What are you laughing at? What are you? I'm going to throw that ball into the hands of my wife because she's progressed or moved or taken a step into a different direction. So.
Yeah, I finished my employment this week.
As a
psychotherapist / social worker.
You were one of those.
I was one of those sinister people.
So
I finished my job there, where I was working, and
by the way, Sadie's like, oh, you put my cat.
Oh, you didn't see her going in her spaceship?
Yeah, my cat spaceship on the chair.
Nice.
Go fuck yourselves. I'm going to use it myself. Nothing stops me. I'll be part of this podcast. Look at me.
Girl.
Hey, she's like, yeah, I'm on camera.
Yeah.
In any case, continue.
Yeah, so I completed that so that I could move my life further in the direction of yoga and teaching yoga and therapeutic yoga. So those are the things that I find exciting and different ways that I would like to move my healing work in future. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
So by the way, just so the viewers, the listeners understand this completely, I couldn't be fucking happier. All right. I actually find myself, the cat by the way is a cute distraction, but I find myself to be more productive when it comes to anything regarding the community and gaming. When Rach is around the house and home participating in my life, because you know what? It keeps me honest. I can't be, zoned
honest.
out. I can't be zoned out if my lovely wife is, what are you doing? I'm simply zoned out for the last 2 hours doing diddly shit. No,
if that's the case, it's okay.
No, I know, but it's a good thing. So, before we start delving into stuff that we want to talk about tonight, I backed a Kickstarter, and I backed it for 3 pieces because I figured my better half. This one right here, would want one of them. And I was right. And I want one of them. And I figured that would be the case. So, yes, I was right. Oh, by the way, Terry says congrats on your retirement, Rach.
Thank you.
It was a long time. By the way, as a quick aside, when I retired just over 5 years ago, I had told Rach, because I'm a little bit over 4 years older, I go, listen, if by 5 years from now you're not in a position where you can retire, I will go back to work part-time to put you in a position where you can retire or move on to a different profession.
See, where was I 5 years ago? Yeah, I was at drug and alcohol. As outpatient detox and
as the director,
yeah,
which was fucking hellish. Nothing against hell, okay?
Because that's an insult to hell now,
right? Exactly. I don't.
Not really. I mean, it was
it could
a
be.
rough
On certain
situation on certain days, and it was quite demanding. So
it was certainly combat pay that you were getting, but in any case,
shit. And it's funny because it wasn't even anything that you would think of as warranting combat pay. It wasn't in the heart of like a rough neighborhood, which I've been in, or working with people that were sex offenders, or something that would command that kind of thing, that kind of attention.
It was just bags of shit.
It was just a lot of. It was very busy. It was just a very demanding job, like
bags of shit that weren't
balancing profit and
it's shit that shouldn't have been in your lap. That people have been going, here, take this bag of shit and do something with it. So my attitude to that is go fuck yourself. But when you're employed, you can't say that.
Yeah, my attitude is like, oh, how can I help? Yeah.
How can I make this better for all of us?
Yeah. Might not always be a way, but.
So Rachel's most recent employment really, honestly, wasn't bad. It wasn't horrid.
No.
Her supervisors were actually, and this is from my perspective, and I judge things harshly, okay? I would normally say that, Rachel's supervisors are a bunch of, pieces of shit. But no. These were actually decent people.
Yes, they were very good women.
Little wound up a little bit, maybe a little bit too tightly, some of them. Yeah. But they meant well, and they respected what Rach brought to the table and what Rach could potentially bring to the table. I am actually very glad that she was able to transition beyond it before somebody said, oh, by the way, you've been a director before. Here's a new bag of shit, which I fully expected to be coming up at some point. And I'm glad that we have got Rachel away from that potential. The kitty is crumbling everywhere. But before that can happen. But now, having been just slightly derailed, where are they? Here they are. So, I backed a Kickstarter. Well, wait, hold on.
But that's what I chose.
I know. I wanted the card, but I don't see the card.
Let me help you.
There, take that one. There's no card in there.
You took the dice.
I got the card. So in any case, a shout out to Spellbook Games. This Kickstarter fulfilled spellbookgames.com, and these are custom.
And what we have is some beautiful boxes.
Oh yes.
And so we have here a Celtic knot.
She took the best one.
Yo. Beautiful reddish, like kind of cherry stain on it, with a die in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've all got dies.
We yes. And then this one, it's stained inside, and it has blue felt, and it is gorgeous. So that's my one.
Right. So the one I'm taking is this one, just because I liked, again, the design. It's got like a snake skin inside. Comes with, oh, by the way, the lock is spot on. It is really sweet. Really great, smooth feature. So I got 3 of them.
And that one is not stained. That's just the regular pine. And then this one is like a grayish.
Yeah, it's like it's a grayish stain.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We got 3, and I only intended for one for myself, intended one for Rach. Had no clue what to do with the other one. And, of course, my better half, the reason why she's my better half, right? She's like, well, I mean, when you hit 1,000, aren't you going to do some giveaways? 1,000 meaning 1,000 subscribers to 10 Cards Tavern YouTube channel. So I was like, geez, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, that is beautiful.
So this one here, all right, now, when we hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers,
maybe we'll hold that.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing this with it. When we hit 1,000,
you're so
Thank you, Shannon. Oh, and by the way, to the guy who commented that I am an unshaven fuck, I am. But here's
Here's
the
the snakeskin
So
inside that you can.
we will randomly gift this to one subscriber,
and it came with dice inside,
who fulfills the entry. This might be not a live stream, but it might be a post or sorry, a vid where we have people to comment, and we have a comment within the next week. We will mail this anywhere within the United States, and it is certainly, it's hand done. This is burned into the wood, which is really, really cool. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. I am in when you hit 1K. Brian, you've been in since high school, so you're not allowed. You've gotten enough wonderful freebies.
Oh,
well, I can't. All right, you're in, but
you're in like Flynn. Let's see what happens, man.
We'll see what happens, yo. But in any case, so again, Rachel has. It's a transition. When I retired from law enforcement, a part of the issue, and I've seen this with others that retired from careers, is what do you do in your post-career, right? That's a huge issue. And with my father, when he retired from the phone company, New York Telephone, he got a chance to retire early. I think he was 57 or 58. They bridged his Social Security. They gave him years on his pension, all this wonderful stuff, because they were just trying to downsize their employed staff. So what did my father think he was going to do? He thought, I'll drive the school bus, or I'll get a dog. And first off,
a school bus or a dog?
Yeah, he doesn't like kids, and he doesn't necessarily like driving all that much. And he's not a dog person.
He's not so comfortable around dogs.
No. So
it took him a while to get used to like the dachshunds.
Yes. So his first, 6-7 months of retirement was fucking hellish on the family. But here's what happened, and this is the secret. He found his calling. He decided to be a quote beach hunter. That's those metal detectors that go to
yearning.
Yes, he found that. He found his calling, and he also found that he had an affinity for painting, not house painting, but actually painting, oil painting scenes from nature. I don't have that artistic talent, but even before I retired, I was already spot on involved in the gaming community. I was blogging. I already had that focus. So it was just adding to that focus. So we added the podcast. Now we've added the vidcast. I do live streams. I do live streams 3 days a week. I do hang out on the Discord server on Thursday night. So basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all those evenings, I have hours accounted for, because being involved and having this kind of set schedule actually means a lot in this quote retirement, or at least transitioning from normal employment. Now, I know some of our listeners, because of COVID, some prior to COVID, work from home. And that becomes a whole different situation and issue, I've even seen with rates, because yes, theoretically your hours are from 9 to 6 because you're working from home. Guess what? You're a fucking slave to the phone, right? They call you at any time, and you really don't have an excuse not to pick up because you work.
You're home.
You're home. It's your fucking office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing: when you work from home, you can't get sick.
Right.
Well, you can, but doesn't
you
mean
can,
shit.
and you can take sick days, but why?
Exactly. So, I mean,
except like if your diarrhea is so bad that you can't get through a 50-minute session with somebody.
Did you have that?
No.
Came close to it.
Close.
I know I probably had days in the
I
last...
pinned up my butt cheeks and keep moving.
I probably had times in the last 6 months where I couldn't have done a 50-minute session. I'd be like, hold on. Do you mind if we transition to the bathroom? And do you mind if I put you on mute? Oh, the mute button didn't work?
No.
Well, thank God you don't have smell-o-vision. But in any case, these are the little things that go with you when you work from home, right? I mean, I never, as a member of law enforcement, I never had the opportunity to.
That would never present itself.
That being said, as a supervisor, who was also the liaison to another city agency, were there times when I was on vacation and my phone would ring and I'd be like, hello? Oh, yeah, hi, this is Director so-and-so from... And you're like, I'm fucking off. I don't need this. I'm not getting paid.
Yeah,
I'm not getting paid
that's
for it.
the thing. It's like when you're a management
Yes.
person, middle, senior management, like, you don't have a choice but to pick up that phone. So wherever you are, like, even in, like, I remember working at the detox and, making our way up to the Poconos.
Oh, God.
Even with shit reception. And, still having to be able to answer the phone.
Yes. And you know what? There is a certain amount of suckage to all of that. So,
and yeah, you don't get paid for it because you're salaried.
No. And as a sergeant, listen, did I make overtime? Yes. But in theory, I had a base salary. And then you getting called on your own time, guess what? Unless you plan on doing paperwork trying to claim that as overtime, and good luck doing that, because whatever money you might get back, you're going to lose in the general getting punched in the face fuckage. It wasn't worth the effort.
Wait, what was that? You mean taxing on it?
No, meaning that, you're putting in for overtime because we called you at home.
Oh.
Well, guess what kind of repercussions you're going to get on the job because of that shit. Was not.
So you were basically, like any middle management, you know, you were salaried and that's it. Because if we put in for it, like, you're trying to nickel and dime us.
Right. And I couldn't use the excuse of, it's an unknown number, I can't pick it up. Because guess what? When I was working, 3 out of 4 unknown numbers, or just came up as unknown or block caller, was work. So you couldn't use the excuse of, it didn't come up as a known number. Well, you should know that a blocked number is the NYP.
Oh, man, that's bullshit. Because, like, even, for a long time, they were having a *69 the clients, and, it puts a block on the number that you're calling from. And the psychiatrist would do that for the longest because they didn't want to do the video chat. And so, it would just do that, and they'd be like, patients would be like, I don't answer blocked calls.
Well, I said,
and then they would program me into it, and then so whenever the office would ring, whenever the number would ring from the office, it would say Rachel on it. They'd be like, hey, Rachel! And they'd be like, wait, it's not Rachel. Like, what?
That's not truth in advertising. So, in any case, Rachel's transition. Now, this transition, by the way, is going to be a win-win for this community. And when I say this community, I mean the 10 Cars Tavern community. I mean old school gaming. I mean the gaming community, because the game plan is, as we get Rach settled into this post-gainful employment idea of what work is, and as a social worker, it's not all that gainful. But moving into more the social work, the yoga side of probably less gainful but more rewarding, certainly, and a lot better feedback. We are going to be, and I say we, it's not because I'm doing the fucking yoga.
Yes, you will.
I'm in charge of the camera. I can't do yoga. All right?
Fine, you can do the camera, but there might be certain times where we can mount it and you
for
can
those
do
those like Brian and others that want to be amused by me doing yoga. We will have some pieces of me doing yoga.
Yeah.
All right.
Like things that relate to folks that aren't so flexible, like a lot of people say, oh, I can't do yoga because I'm just not flexible. Flexibility doesn't have anything to do with it. It's still something that is healthy for people, regardless of their flexibility. No hot yoga. I can't. I have hypertension, so
yes,
that's off limits for me.
No hot yoga. No hot yoga happening whatsoever. Yeah, but yes, maybe some.
Will we create fire? Will we create heat in him? Sure, we can.
Jesus Christ.
But not hot yoga.
Suffice to say, though,
because we both have hypertension, that's contraindicated.
Yes. Figure ballparking. Don't treat this like a fucking Kickstarter where 10 cars said it's gonna ship on September 15th, because that ain't happening. But Brian will join us for the yoga. All right.
Yay!
So here's the deal, though. When the aim is before.
I mean, maybe we can even start with a restorative one to help people.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The idea is to get one class up each month for the rest of this year, starting September. So might be 3 classes of yoga and 1 of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 classes of yoga, 1 meditation, 1 singing bowls, which Rach is also certified with singing bowls.
Like a level 1. Yeah.
Yes. So these are things that we are working to
sound therapy.
Literally give back to the community. Is there going to be a way that if you like what Rach does that you could get more lessons? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am leaning toward Rach doing it via something like Patreon, as opposed to a more traditional manner, because I believe it puts it into the hands of more people. I mean, and I'm not going to say gamers are, and we're always honest, I'm not going to say gamers are cheap fucks. But we are in the midst of COVID, right? People are still unemployed. People are underemployed.
Yes, and sometimes we need to give to our community.
Right, and not only that,
just
people are stressed.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they need that help to, decompress from that.
Right. And you're not just stressed because, all right, maybe I'm unemployed, or maybe I'm on unemployment. Maybe I'm underemployed. Maybe I'm working and working from home isn't bad, but I'm not getting to interact with people at work. So I don't get that normal interaction, that social ability to decompress. I'm not getting that, right?Maybe you are going to work and you're taking mass transit, and you have the additional stress now of taking mass transit, the subway, the bus, the commuter rail, and putting yourself in a situation where you're like, well, I know people at my job are immunized or wearing masks, but maybe these dumb fucks around me aren't. What about that person on the other end of the train who's hacking up half a lung? Are they a heavy smoker or are they ill? I don't know, right? This is stuff that, honestly, 2 years ago, we would not have given a flying fuck. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm going to apologize right now. Shannon, my niece, does watch this. She's told me flat out. She's like, Uncle, I watch every episode of Gamers Health, and I am the biggest freaking potty mouth out there. And she's 10. I don't advertise this for kids. There is nothing that isn't child appropriate except for my language. But, it comes kind of with the territory, I guess.
And some kids are different at different ages. So,
well, Shannon.
Some are more advanced and can understand the intent behind the
Shannon
language.
Basically told me, Uncle, I have a daddy, which leads me to believe that she's heard the language before. But I will do a quick interlude. I don't think I told this story here. But if you are listening and watching, I am going to tell the story of when you threw Uncle under a very large bus. If it was a school bus, it would have been a full school bus with at least 40 students on it.
Not the short bus?
Not the short bus, and you would have parked it squarely on Uncle's ass. I was at work at my desk, and my phone rings, my cell phone. And I look, and it's my sister. And I'm like, oh, Nat's calling. I wonder what's going on. Pick up. Hey, Nat, what's up? Oh, not much. Yada, yada, yada. So, do you know what your goddaughter did? Now, if you've ever been a parent, whenever a child is linked to you specifically, it's never for anything good. It always means somebody screwed up, and it probably wasn't the child. It probably was you. So I was like,
yeah, I mean, I heard many times, your son.
Your son. So I was like, what did Shannon do? Oh, well, she was on the swings in the backyard. I'm like, okay. And she wanted to get off. I'm like, okay. So she jumped off. I'm like, oh, again, waiting for the punchline because I knew it was coming and the setup was hurting. And she fell off and then she landed on her knees. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then she said something. And that's when I kind of went, oh, geez.
What did she say?
What did she say? She said, ouch, fuck. And I was like, what? Well, that's what I said, my sister. I said, what did Uncle say? What did you say? She goes, ouch, fuck. Well, where did you learn that? Uncle, fuck. So I had to think back, and I am a trained police officer. One of the things we were taught in the academy before learning how to shoot straight was always have an answer. So
and how to curse.
Well, yeah, cursing was just natural. It came along with it. But I realized, I had to think real quick, but I didn't realize that I had taken Shannon for a walk nearly 3 weeks prior to see the Long Island Railroad at a pedestrian overpass that goes over the railroad.
So you could wave to the train.
Right. She was maybe 2 years old. And no, she wasn't 4, Brian. She was like 2. Sorry. And
even worse. Sorry.
Yes. And I had taken to the pedestrian overpass, and this bridge has been there since my mother was a child and I was a child. The stairs suck. They're cement and metal, and they are literally falling apart. And
yeah, they're like different. One stair will go like this, and another stair will go like that.
So it was like late April, early May. It was a pretty warm day, and I was wearing my Tevas, my sandals, and I scraped my foot on one of these stairs, and I literally went, ouch, fuck, turned right to Shannon and said, don't say that language. Uncle said it because he hurt himself. So this child grabbed that knowledge and at 2 and a half,
and used it in full context.
Yeah, she's like.
So when he told me about it, I was like, wow, she used it in the appropriate context. You know, I have little guys on my side, my nephews. Well, one of my nephews, my older nephew, he would say like, fuck you in the supermarket to people. They'll be like, oh, okay. I'll be like, fuck you. And yeah, because it was like, he thought that was like the power word, you know.
No, Shannon knew it was a power word. It was a power phrase, but it was the phrase that you use.
Like, that had to hurt really bad.
If Uncle said it. So that was, I don't want to say this when Uncle realized he probably cursed too much because I have him stopped. But a little shout out to my niece Shannon. Probably one of my most.
What about that time we were trying to like clean up our vocabulary, and then we were like cleaning up, and we'd say dirt bag, and then you would say scowl or something. Yeah. And Shannon like started using that on other kids.
Yeah. So and so is a scowl. And that was like kindergarten. That's like
first grade or second.
All right, that's close. Real early. It's like It's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't be using scowl around her.
It was so funny. And that was like, why now? She's choosing to use these words.
These substitute words that are probably worse than the words that you would have been using. Because she'd know not to use the words you're using. Mm-hmm. But these substitute words she thinks are okay.
Yeah, and that's what we thought too. But apparently the school board doesn't agree. So we even have to change that. Or just go back to what she knows, and she knows to censor.
Yes. So, by the way, Shannon, if you are watching,
God bless.
This is not saying
Mhm.
start using dirtbag and skell to right, so and so that wouldn't let me use the swings.
It's usually in the context of like road rage. You'd see somebody making
I didn't tell I would use
foolish decisions on the road, and I think that's where she picked those things up.
Yes.
And like started to play with them.
Yeah, well, so and then, listen, have we gone off path? Certainly. We always do that. If you listen to any of our live streams, whether it's me with Bad Mike, whether it's me with Glenn or me with Joe, we go off all the way. Please, someone check my prostate. OSR Dungeon Master preferred. Geez, V, thank you very much for popping in. But no, we have no medical professionals here, so there's nobody here to check your vaccine card, and there's nobody here to tell you to wear a mask. By the way, we always suggest that when it comes to COVID, use your common sense. Rach and I have comorbidities coming out my ass, so me getting vaccinated was like not really an issue. It was going to happen, pretty much with the rest of my family. But if you don't have comorbidities, if you are younger, you are healthy. These are decisions that you make for yourself. But you have to remember that your decisions can affect those of those around you, the health of those around you. So just use your common sense. That's all I've ever asked of anybody in my community, is to use your common sense. And that's what we're asking. Now, if you ask me if I always use my common sense when I do these live streams, fuck no. I mean, I've spoken to others that have much more successful channels than we have, and they've told me flat out that I don't think they used the word insanity, but they were like, "There's no way in hell or high water that they would ever do live streams like we do, because live streams they're
a risk.
They're a risk, I can make a poop joke, and then all of a sudden, somebody can decide that poop jokes are, verboten, and you can get unpersoned. Again, I've been fond of saying this, and Rach, you can now say this, by the way. I'm retired. You can't take. What did they say in? Oh God. Why am I at Firefly? You can't take the stars away from me, or something like that. You can't take my employment. I'm retired. My monies are guaranteed. So you can't say, "Oh, Tenkar did this," or you can't even allege that Tenkar did something. But a lot of times, allegations are enough to shut somebody down in online social media venues. Guess what? I'm retired. Okay? And then also, I pretty much know what I say. Well, except for the time I made that horrible joke about Gil Gygax and the C word. But it was in written, it was actually in text, and the joke was about trademarking the word, not calling somebody it. So I still think it was funny. Rach is deferring judgment on that, by the way. Wise young lady, wise. Sometimes it is best to defer judgment. You can't take the sky from me. Thank you, Bri.
Yes.
I was having trouble remembering what the name of Firefly was yesterday. I was having was it Thursday? I was having a really, really senior moment. I'm going to blame it on the chemo, or blame it on the alcohol.
Blame it on the
alcohol. So, like I said, with Rach, this is a new step. For me, when I retired, it was the process was just doing more of what I was already kind of doing. Rach has already been prepping for this. She has taken her.
Yeah, I've done a lot of classes and stuff.
Your 200 hour, your 500 hour.
Yeah, I will be an RYT 500 when I pay the Yoga Alliance their money.
Pay them their money, darling. But
I just had to grab my certificate from Jen.
But honestly, Rach has for the last couple of years been working herself to a point where she could make this transition. And we've gotten to a point where she can make this transition, and we're not going to be freaking out about, oh, we need the salary. No, I need my wife's mental health. I need my wife to be doing an occupation that she not just finds value in, but she finds to be very rewarding and very self-fulfilling. And I think we found it. And
Like of being part of doing that, like, in yoga you have your communities and you give back to them, and then you stay with your community, you establish other communities, and so it's a whole lifestyle.
And like I said, part of what Rach is going to be giving back to is the gamer community, because she's been a part of it thanks to this community, thanks to the tavern. We go to conventions. People are more excited to see Rach half the time than they are to see me, which is fine with me. I mean, I'm not excited to see me. But I really owe what I do in gaming to Rach. I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff if I didn't have a wife that supported me and encouraged me right from the start, before we were even married, to get involved in all this and get deeper involved in the hobby, in the community. That's all Rach. So if you like what I do, you can thank Rach. And if you don't like me and you think I'm a fucking piece of shit and an ass, this is the woman you got to blame.
But don't come for me.
Yeah. But honestly, it really is. I've always loved gaming. Don't get me wrong. But the person that had the faith in me to come out of my shell, Brian might know this, but I am naturally a shy person. And thanks to my wife and others in the community, you have me doing podcasts and live streams and YouTube episodes and daily blogs, and it is really a testament on all of you, less so than me, because if there was no you, there'd be no audience for the bullshit that I pull anyway. So, Bryce says you gave me the motivation and inspiration. She gave me the lovely kick in my ass, God. Ask God, and that's where it goes.
Get doing it.
So, I mean, honestly, this is just my perspective on this. With Rach being retired, I somehow suspect that I will be a bit more productive. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, already, even like in the house.
Oh, jeez. All right. Yeah.
I started putting together like I put together the table, not table. They could be used as tables, but they're shelves. And so I put them together, and then he started to do starting to organize some of the stuff like in the kitchen. We have a clutter problem on our table,
but the clutter problem is a good clutter problem. It's not a clutter problem of random shit. It's a clutter problem.
I mean, it is sometimes.
Yeah, but mostly it's
like I'll find dice by the sink.
Well, you'll find dice everywhere. This is what you married. But in all seriousness, and I discussed it before, I might not be strict keto, but I am certainly heavily keto because I'm trying to keep my blood sugar under control.
Yeah, which I could control.
Which I'm sure my blood sugar is bouncing thanks to the Five Guys burger I just had.
That was good.
Actually not bad. Actually, I'm at 147 for my blood sugar.
What's good? We split the little fry.
But that's post dinner. But I've been averaging a blood sugar of 113 for the last 7 days because we have keto stuff. Keto snacks that are savory, keto snacks that are sweet, keto chocolate bars, keto pasta substitutes, keto rice substitutes, all this stuff, so that when it comes time for us to want something that would normally take us off our
Be a very heavy carb hit.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, honestly,
Or a very heavy sugar hit.
2 years ago, on any given night, it could be like, oh, okay, is 10 Car going to have half a bag of Oreos or a 6-pack of Sam Adams and a bag of chips? What's my night going to be? Are we going to go sweet or savory with beer? We don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore.
No.
I have Oreos. I have the Kiss My
Catalina Crunch.
Catalina Crunch
Oreo
cookies, keto cookies, and they taste just as good as Oreos. Cost probably 2 to 3 times as much as Oreos, but I'm not.
Well, that's how you know. Like,
that's how you know
you should really love them before you order.
You know, because these are things that allow you to literally keep your blood sugar in the range that you need it.
Yeah, and it helps you to be able to say, oh, do I need 4 or do I need 2 tonight?
Right. You know, we have keto friendly ice creams in the freezer, keto ice pops. I really do a lot of my cooking, but I don't do it like, oh, I'm on a strict keto diet. I need to test my ketones and pee in a strip. I'm not doing that.
We all did that on Atkins, and you know, for a while it was good and you could do it, but it's not always so sustainable.
Right. And as Terry points out, his wife is helping improve his eating habits and overall health, and he's very thankful for that. It's not a secret, all right? The best way to change your eating habits, and I'm not going to say
you
diet.
Definitely need a partner to
you
do
need
that
a partner with it. If you are
someone that you're with,
if you are married, your spouse, if your spouse is eating shit while you're trying to eat rabbit food, guess what? You're going to eat shit.
Yeah, I was trying for a long time. Like I did Atkins. No, I did Weight Watchers, and it worked out well. You know, it was okay. I lost 40 pounds, but he was still, you know, eating whatever he wanted.
Yes,
you know?
and that, you know, I needed I needed to get to the precipice. I needed to look over the edge, and look at my life and say, fuck.
And now we can do it together. So okay.
Yeah, it's tough to do it on your own. Now, that being said, if you are totally on your own, like prior to this, my best dieting was literally before I inherited my son. And I was I don't think I was we're gonna call it happily single because I didn't know any better. But yes, I could, and there's some meals.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, that was easy because you were only looking after yourself.
Right.
So like, I could lose 60 pounds on Atkins easily and keep it up, you know, and keep going.
At the same time,
and exercise because it was only me that I needed to worry about.
Right. So I would make one of my favorite things to make.
Me and the dog, anyway.
Well, one of my favorite things, and I haven't made this for you, Rach, and I really should.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You can make this with ground turkey or ground beef. I would make it in bulk. So I would take usually a pound and a half of ground beef, probably about 6 to 8 ounces of salsa, cut up some fresh onions. If you have green peppers around, cut them up. Cheddar cheese, cubed. I believe they were like 1/2-inch cubes. I would put about 4 ounces. You take it all into a mixing bowl and you mix it up. So, you know, some people go like, "What are you making a weird kind of meatloaf?" No, actually, I was making hamburgers, but I was making a very savory, tasty hamburger. Why was that? Because I didn't want to eat the bun. I didn't want to be tempted to eat a bun, so I wanted something that I could heat up in a microwave, take it out, and it would be so tasty that I wouldn't even say, "Oh, I need to stop to put ketchup or mustard on it." No, it's got salsa in it. It's got cheese already in it. And it was really good. I did that, and I did well, you've had some of my chilies. My chilies are pretty good too.
Yeah, you know what's something crazy that I used to do, like on Atkins? I'd be like, all right, I'd go to the deli. I'd say, okay, I'll have a bacon cheeseburger, hold the bun, and put a bunch of lettuce. Just put it all on a plate. And he would do it, and I'd say, just put some mustard and ketchup on the burger, and it worked out great because then you just cut it all up, make it bite size,
right?
and then you have like bacon cheeseburger salad.
There you go.
Yeah, and you don't put any dressing on it because you already have the condiment.
Right. I mean, listen, I've
And boy, does it taste good.
in my retirement, I've been doing the vast majority of the cooking that we do up here. My parents cook on occasions, you know, so sometimes we get called out for dinner. But I would do breakfast, lunch, and dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Rachel's retired, I'm going to get to experience Rachel's cooking again, which I haven't experienced since I think really consistently since we were dating, because she had to, you know, prove to prospective husband that she could cook, and she could. And then we got married.
Did I feed you at my house?
Yes, you did. I remember how horrible your oven was. Your oven was a fucking fire trap waiting to blow the whole fucking place up. So yes, you did feed me at the house when I brought over homebrewed beer.
Oh, okay.
I brew. You know, these are things like I haven't homebrewed beer in 7 or 8 years, and that'll probably never happen again because the carbs are just way too much. But home brewing is a peaceful process. Just the process of doing this and the reward of drinking it afterwards, even if it tastes a little sour, you're kind of like, well, I made it, right? So you like got some pride in it. And if it doesn't taste sour at all, if it tastes good, then it's like, well, this beer would be a 6 out of 10 if I was buying it at a supermarket because I made it, man. It's an 11 out of 10. Ho, ho, ho. So, hey, Ty, welcome. Good to see you.
Ah.
My favorite lawyer, well, aside from the lawyer that got me my World Trade Center money. But hey, who am I to complain? But seriously, I mean, these are the things like, so again, now that Rach is retired from quasi-gainful employment. Again, she was a social worker, so I don't want to insult Rach and call it gainful employment because she was underpaid for the work that she did.
Well, yeah, you make you sign on to be kind of a pauper, and when you get the come up and you're like a middle manager, you know you can like pay your bills then. You can,
right? You know,
it's a little bit of a living wage then.
You know, so now Rach is in a position where she will be able to give back, and on your pace, and
that's just part of the philosophy of social work too, to be able to give back.
Right.
So but that all continues.
But I would be really upset if you were doing social work and not getting paid for it. But But I'm actually very happy for the idea of you doing like yoga and meditation and sound therapy for people using singing bowls and giving that away for people in the community. And I'm kind of like, I do crap like that, you know, kind of, you know. But to do something that I got employed for to get paid, I wouldn't do law enforcement for free. Okay, because you know, so doing social work for free, unless it was free.
Well, it's so hard because it's like, you know, yoga is a spiritual pursuit too, and so
I don't know if gaming is so much a spiritual pursuit, although it can.
There's themes that undercut it.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, there's this whole idea going on in discussions, and if V is still in, I saw V's video about old school gaming and kind of like who we want in old school gaming. And I'll be honest with you, I want the 5e players to experience it and come into it. And I don't want them to necessarily play old school rule sets the way I play it. I want them to play it in a way that's going to be fun for them with mechanics that I play, which means they're going to be playing like my way anyway, right? It's just that their perspective is going to be different. I've run charitable law enforcement. Interesting notion, not going to happen. I've run Swords of Wizardry for groups that were expecting to play 5e. Well, one group was expecting to play 5e, one group that was a regular group of 5e players at TotalCon, and they wanted to experience old school gaming. And those are the people that I really enjoy running games for, that I feel these are the people that we can touch. old school gaming, it's not a zero sum, right? When it comes to the OSR, it's not like, oh, you can only play the OSR, and if you play anything else, you're a false prophet. But what if I like 5e? Well, then you're a false prophet. I like 5e and old school essentials, OSE. Yeah, but no, you can't like them both. Well, what if I do? You can like them both. You can enjoy them both. It's not zero sum. I think that we have to have a realization, just like the market isn't zero sum. Just because somebody spends money on Torchlight issue 1 doesn't mean they're not going to have money to spend on some other zine or Zine magazine. I had it right the first time.
Zine.
Well, no, it's zine. I always was saying Zine, but then people got mad at me. Gaming is a total spiritual pursuit, except when 10 cards of gaming and stable boys spit in paladins' faces. They don't spit. They turn their back.
Oh, is that a cop thing?
No.
They turn their back?
No, it's before I was a cop.
Oh, okay.
And this is
when they don't approve, they turn their back.
No, because this is because they wanted hero worship, and I don't believe in hero worship in my RPGs. I'm sorry. Never. That's really where that's coming from. I've always, because if you're gonna be, what's the reward for being a hero, right? Doing the right thing. The reward for doing the right thing is doing the right thing, right?
Yes.
If you need
matched your ethical standard.
Right. If you need an attaboy for doing the right thing, then you're not necessarily good. You're
working on it.
Well, yeah, but you have selfish interest. Well,
you need a little bit more reinforcement.
So I mean, again, we can agree to disagree, and on top of that, we were all 25 years younger. Oh my God, which is a realization, or we're almost 25 years younger. This past March marked 24 years. Yes, because 97. 24 years since I last ran a gaming session with my gaming group from high school and college. And that's amazing. We still get together. We still, at least once a year, we get together. We share some beers, some whiskeys, and tell stories and reminisce and watch really bad YouTube videos. But it's been 24 years, and that's a bond that hasn't been lost. And to me, that's an amazing thing that I think that gaming is undervalued at. We all talk about gaming, and it's like, oh, the good old days. You know what? Yeah, those are the good old days, but I still have my good old friends because of those good old days. And I am thrilled and ecstatic that we kept that connection. And I don't know of other. I mean, listen, hanging out at a bar, are you going to keep those? I mean, yeah, if you keep going to the bar for 24 years, you might keep those friends, assuming they don't die.
Yeah, and assuming that the friendships translate outside of the bar.
Right. I mean, our friendships translated outside of gaming. And that's the beautiful thing. And it's something I can't state strongly enough that how much I owe D&D and the for different RPGs, and how I became what I am, my career in law enforcement, what I'm doing now in the hobby, but even how I dealt with issues in high school and college that other students or other kids, other teens might have not dealt with as well. I was able to deal with a lot of problem solving and tough issues because gaming gives you problem solving and tough issues. And you confront issues, you don't run away from them. And that really is a lot of the strengths that gaming reinforced in me. So I really, I can't say enough about it. And I think as an old school gamer, we really should be looking to get new generations into gaming. What did I listen? Somebody picks up Swords and Wizardry Light and they move on to playing 5e, and they think 5e is the greatest thing since sliced bread. God bless them. I'm just glad that Swords and Wizardry brought them into gaming. And if they pick up Swords and Wizardry Light and they go, "Holy crap, this is a great game! I want to pick up the full Swords and Wizardry rules. I want to pick up Labyrinth Lord. I want to pick up AD&D 1E." I wouldn't want to do that to a new gamer, but as somebody who grew up on it, I love that system. Even better. But just by bringing them into gaming, you're giving them tools to deal with life. I could probably do a whole episode on how gaming is not about giving you a safe space, right? Well, your adventurers aren't looking for a safe space. They're looking to deal with confrontations and adversaries and overcome issues and overcome adversaries and traps and obstacles and become heroes, right? To better themselves. They're not worried about a safe space where they're not going to be offended. So I think there's a lot to be learned by that. I think we lose some of that in the various interpretations of gaming, the various iterations of that stuff. Yes, Brian, very special and unique bond. Now, for those of you in the Northeast, we're getting a decent amount of rain outside right now, no wind. But we are certainly going to be looking at heavy winds. I think we're going to get gale force winds here in New York City. Mm-hmm. I believe Long Island is looking at potential for hurricane force winds. First hurricane force winds hitting Long Island in normal.
Apparently, it's a superstorm.
It's a super. They're all
Look
super.
out! It's a superstorm.
It's a superstorm. Go out and buy your milk. Buy your milk. Buy your bread. You need milk and
make sure you have toilet paper handy.
Parts of Connecticut are being told you might be without power for 10 days.
That sounds like the usual party line in Connecticut. Then.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Monday night, day after tomorrow, I'm supposed to be starting a new campaign with Joe the lawyer. He's running it. Joe lives in Connecticut. Joe might not be running it, but we'll see.
Let's see.
We'll see. Hey, I might be bailing out my basement. Well, not bailing it out. My basement floods, but only
he might be good if he's inland.
Okay. So, but my basement will tend to gather water. It doesn't flood like I know people who have basements that flood and it floods like feet deep. No, our basement will flood maybe a couple of inches deep, but it's just a blinking mess. There, for my niece, I tried to
clean it out.
Yes. Craig, it's a Category 1. Expect to lose power and lots of rain and wind. As somebody who was working Hurricane Sandy, and Hurricane Sandy also meant that I was working many days after Hurricane Sandy, including our first anniversary.
Yeah. And I remember how resentful, like, we both were. I knew I was resentful. I was like, why do we have to go back? With nothing is working. You can't use the train.
Yeah.
It's all flooded out.
Oh, it was a miserable time. But hopefully it does not hit as hard as Sandy did, because that was devastating. I still have pictures on my phone from...
and it's crazy because it's only August.
Yeah.
What else do we have to look forward to this hurricane season?
I'm going to make a prediction that that this year, this winter, for those of us in the Northeast and the Midwest, is going to be a snowier, more miserable winter than we've had in the last couple. I just get that feeling. But, que sera, sera. Folks, we've already gone over the COVID bullshit. We're not going to go over that, aside from touching on the fact that we went down to our local pub, and the local pub had to sign up, because this is New York City. You must show proof of...
because on the 13th of September, they will be enforcing.
Right, but right now, it's the policy, but they're not enforcing it. You must show your proof of COVID vaccination, and then your ID. And...
I never had to show my ID when I was voting.
didn't have to show my ID when I voted either. I didn't have to do anything but say, "Hey, here's my name.
Yes.
Where do I sign?" Okay, thank you for my slip.
Yes.
Sayonara. Have a good one. So, and now I have to divulge medical information, which I thought was HIPAA.
HIPAA.
You're the former professional, Rach. Isn't that would be under HIPAA?
Yes, it's a HIPAA.
So that's why we just need to know you're vaccinated, but
Disclosure.
not what kind of vaccination you have.
You can disclose, but your doctor can't.
Without
a written
wait a second.
consent for.
So I can disclose,
permission,
but the government can make me disclose.
Well, that's the issue that we're having.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not we're not the Rockaways, which got hit really, or Coney Island. They got really hit hard in Sandy. Because here's the other thing, it's going to be a full moon and high tide. It's going to be almost a perfect storm. If it's like Sandy, it's going to suck shit.
Well, because the moon is in its certain cycle that, and they also warn about the storm surge being pretty significant. So
if you're in the path, folks, I sincerely ask that you take precautions. All right, keep yourself as best you can in as safe as you can be, and make sure that you check on those that are in need. Family, friends, the elderly, neighbors. Just check up on them. I'll be checking up on my friend John tomorrow. I should have checked up on him today, but all right. Drop that ball. As always, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be back with just a regular vidcast tomorrow. Rach and I will be back next Saturday. Bad Mike and I will have Alyssa Faden. I can't say shit right. Alyssa Faden. Sorry, Alyssa. Mm-hmm. Alyssa will be our guest on Talking Crit for the 8 p.m. live stream this coming Wednesday. And we got guests coming up. I've got guests scheduled coming out of my Heinegablots. But I didn't write it down who's what. So, but if I did, I would tell you what they are. But we should have guests for the next 3 or 4 weeks. I know we got the next 2 weeks scheduled.
Cool.
Woo-hoo! Maybe we'll bring Rach on as a gamer one day, not talk health. Talk about raging gaming.
Well,
yeah. Well, we could bring on Mike's wife, too.
That could be fun.
Yeah. We'll have the women in charge.
Oh, no. I don't know.
I'm trying.
We shall see.
I'm trying. All right, folks. On that note, I will catch you all later. Bri, if you're still listening, give me a bing.
All of you, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Laters.
Take care.